Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of All Things Farming. I have a guest in the studio, Ms. Wendy Mazura, the SEEDCO head of agronomy and PR manager. Today we are going to change our tradition that we are used to. Today we are looking at this time we are going through. It's a transition from summer, winter, and then another summer. It's a time during which farmers normally go through a lot of anxious moments. They want to know many things that they should be doing. So today we are looking at the most frequently asked questions during this time of the year. These questions will be either fired at the extension officer, the agronomist, the government, everyone who is part of the agriculture industry is to answer some questions. So Madam Wendy Mazura will be responding to some of those questions. And I think we get the ball rolling now. Madam Wendy Mazura, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chifamba. It's always a pleasure. I'm always following through your programs, bringing in insights, diverse insights from the different experts in agriculture. Thank you so much. Sure.
Today I want to look at a topic which I think most farmers and players in the sector will find quite exciting. Those most frequently asked questions. Like now, preparations are underway for the 26-27 season, and these preparations are coming against a backdrop of a forecast that's talking about a super El Nino. super El Nino. And the question on most farmers' minds is, what must I be doing now? Now that I'm starting a new project, but somewhere there's danger lurking, waiting to pounce. What must I be doing? The farmer asks, and take us through, what should the farmer be doing now?
Thank you so much. So indeed, these frequently asked questions, when you told me that today we are going to be delving into some frequently asked questions, I was quite excited because it shows that we are tapping into the pain points of the farmer and trying to meet them at their point of need. So indeed, the issue about El Nino is quite topical. It has been not only in Zim, in Africa and in the world, because this prediction is coming at a time when now technology is readily available. So even ahead of the forecast that we are used to getting, the official forecasts that are going to come through in August, already everyone has had some sight on what the season is most likely to be like, with some of the predictions talking about 80-90% El Nino, super El Nino, and then historians trying to look back on when last we had a similar case. But today I want to delve deep into the discussion on El Nino, because the experts are going to give us that final detail in terms of the predictions. Right now they are currently running their final forecasts in terms of how the breakdown of the season is going to be like, first half, second half. But nonetheless, forewarned is forearmed, and there is nothing that beats preparation and anticipatory reaction. So we are imploring on our farmers right now, as they prepare for the next season, to embrace conservation farming principles. When we talk of conservation farming principles, we want them to understand that they are hinged on three main pillars, which are the minimum soil disturbance, permanent ground cover, and rotations. So these are meant to safeguard the farmer against such conditions as a drier season like what we are anticipating right now.
Before you go deeper, you are saying they should adopt or embrace conservation farming.
Yes.
And then do minimum disturbance of the soil.
Yes.
How does that maybe mitigate impact in the drought? Farmers are at I may disturb the soil minimally, but still how does disturbing the soil to the minimum assist
Okay, so it then differs. Zvinozosiyana manje pakuti umwe murimi wendima yakataramuka anonzi commercial farmer. Umwe murimi wendima diki anenge achinzi small scale farmer. Saka tinenge chiona isusu kuti kuna small scale farmer kuya kuri kutaurwa nyaya yekuti rimai nenzira yepfumvudza. Pfumvudza kana ichitaurwa inenge ichinzi pane muchichera makomba paya yakabva yauya nemadimensions anenge achitotaurwa kunzi gomba racho ngaringe rakadzika 15 cm rakafara 15 cm kureva kuti igomba ranenge rakataramuka rakakura ende rakadzika. Saka gomba iri rakutoacta as a pothole kana kuti a water harvesting technique kureva kuti gomba riya pauchakanda mbeu yako iro chibhesini icho chiya chawachera ndo chaakuchigamha mvura kwenguva yakareba. Zvakare uchinge waigama yese mvura iya conservation inobva yachiti chivharai nemulch kureva kuti ngapagare pane ground cover. Saka mulch iya yakuita kuti unyoro huya hunenge hwapinda muvhu hurege kurasika nekukasira. Saka ndiye small scale farmer uyu. Asi commercial farmer manje akufanira kushandisa mishina yechizvino zvino. From a commercial space in terms of conservation there is machinery that is aligned to that principle that include minimum tillage planters that are there. You can also use no-till planters that can drill directly into the field and plant. And there is also the strip till where you are coming in with a ripper. So the ripper will go down to about 60 centimeters into the ground. So having gone down that depth, when the rainfall comes, it will sit on the flat base which has not been disturbed and it will filter into the rows where the plant is going to be having its root system being more prolific and well spread. So that's how the concept of conservation works. So for the commercial farmer, after harvesting their wheat crop, they need to leave that stover in the field so that there is also a mulch cover that they can also harness and hinge on for them to conserve the moisture.
Okay, which incidentally brings us to one of the most asked questions. The smallholder farmer says, I want to persist using the Pumbuza method. Yes. But it's labor intensive. How do I maintain this zero against the labor in demand? Which ask Kwanza manager, maybe it's just an old woman and a few kids. They want to produce crop enough to meet their requirements. They want to produce something that may end up in the silos.
Yes.
Okay. But kutimba makomba kwayo timba ugute and then kuzotsvaga mulch and then wofida futi ningi. They say it's labor intensive and most of them how many a way out. We could be using that in gap. What is in place for my smallholder farmers in terms of mechanization? Do we have particular instruments, implements they can use, and how readily available and how user friendly?
Thank you so much. I'm seeing that you are geared up and you're asking exactly the questions that the farmers have. So before I get into responding to your question, one way in which our farmers can manage the labor intensity is by working in numbers. There is power in numbers. So they can decide to say, today we are going to be doing Gogo Dube's field. Tomorrow we are going to be doing Gogo Moyo's field. In the concept of the nimbe. Saka vanogona kuti vakanoti aiwa nhasi kwabikwa doro kune nimbe kwamaingana vobva vaenda vanochera makomba ikoko mangwana kuswera mangwana vachienda vakadaro zvinobatsira. Asi tichiuya kunyaya yemichina yechizvino zvino yamuri kutaura iye zvino zvanaka nekuda kwokuti vanogadzira michina vave kucherechedza nekuziva kuti varimi vendima diki small scale farmers anodawo michina inoenderana nezera ravo panyaya yekuti munda wavo wakakura zvakadini. So tiri kuona isu kuti kwaane michina unobatsira kuti varimi vanoda kuchera makomba vanogona kuchera makomba vachishandisa muchina wedrill. There is now a technology of a drilling a system which can be handled by one person in the field. As long as you have marked the stations where you want to put the holes, you can go there and you can just hold it over that hole or that station and it will drill that particular hole. Within a few seconds it will have drilled one hole. You go to the next, you go to the next. And in terms of ease of use, I personally have had the experience of using one of these technologies. it's not even heavy to handle or to manage. And in terms of the fuel that they would need to be using maybe diesel. Some of them are battery powered, but the technologies are coming at an affordable rate in such a way that our farmers can come together and they can choose to say, within this village, maybe let's have 1 or 2, and then they can even engage through their agricultural extension advisors. Now they are business advisors, they are not extension officers anymore. Yeah, so they can engage their business advisors and they can get tips on how they can purchase this small scale farming machinery. It's now available on the market.
That's good news. But that also leaves them still wondering, from here, where do we go? What crop choices, what varieties do they need? Because we understand with the phenomenon, like say El Nino, silhouetted on the horizon, staring at my farmers, they need to be asking questions. Do my crops happy? And which varieties can I use? And that also brings in the issue agroecology.
Yes.
Where am I situated? Vazhinji anongoza kuti ndiri kumashi east, ndiri kumatebeleni north, but region yaari hazivi kuti region chi. Those are some of the most asked questions. How do we take care of that on the side of agronomists? How can you address such issues?
Aiwa, ndinotenda zvikuru vachifamba kwechinguvaka ndandodofunga kuti matopinda mumhinduro because pamataura nyaya yemaregions ndatoona kunge makutobata nyaya yacho inoda kucherechedzwa nevarimi. Saka nyaya iyi iri kutangira pakuti murimi wedu anofanira kutanga anzwisisa sekureva kwamaita nharaunda yake yaanorimira, oziva kuti iye in terms of wongo unogona kunge uri muprovince semumashonaland east kana mumashonaland west province, asi hazvirevi kuti province yose manaira anoita mvura akafanana. Chakakosha kuziva inonzi agroecological region. Asi chandinotenda ndechekuti hurumende yeZimbabwe kupfurikidza neministry inoona nezvekurima vakaita inonzi agroecological mapping. Makore 3-4 mashanu apfuura takatoona isusu kuti vakabva vatoita rearrangement yekushaya kutonzwisisa kuti kune dzimwe nzvimbo dzaiwana mvura yave shoma saka dzakadzikira pasaizi, dzimwe dzaisawana mvura dzakuwana, dzimwe dzaiwana mvura shoma yawedzera kuita shoma. Ndopamakaona imi kuti kwave neregion 5B. Saka iroro basa chitsvambe kwatiri isu madhumeni nemadhumeni ehurumende kuti tinge chikurukura pamwe chete nevarimi vedu tichivazivisa kuti aiwa ino nharaunda iregion 2A, region 2B. Asi todzosera zvakare chitsvambe kuvarimi vacho kuti payo panodanwa huwi yekuti murimi endawo kudry show, endawo kufield day kwangana, endawo kupre-planting meeting. Ndokunotaurwa izvozvo zvekuti muno muvillage 16 muno machief Marange muri muregion 2, muri muregion 3 kana muregion 4. Ndokwazvinotsanangurwa zvese izvozvo. Asi zvadero tochipinda kunyaya manje yesarudzo yembeu. Tiri kuona isusu kuti pakusarudza mbeu gore rino zvakakosha kuti murimi atatamure mukana wekukundikana, inonzi risk pachirungu, kupfurikidza nekutenga zvikamu zvembeu zvakasiyana siyana kubva pachirimwa chacho chaicho. Hongu wajaira kurima chibage, asi chiziva kuti hongu chibage chakatikoshera senyika nekuti ndo staple crop yedu. Wochiti rimwe gandiwa iro rine chibage, asi rimwe gandiwa kana kuri kuti uri kuregion 3 kana 4 kwekuti dzimweni dzenguva kunowanawo mvura iri pakati nepakati ichinoshomeka, wakuchiti rimwe gandiwa rine chibage hauchaisi maviri makandiwa echibage, rimwe wakuisa mapfunde, rimwe wakuisawo nzungu, wakuisa nyimo, kuitira kuti mbeu idzi dzinoibva pakasiyana siyana, ushingi kuzuva hwakasiyana siyana. Saka tinokurudzira crop diversification, kureva kuti kurimwa kwembeu dzakasiyana siyana. Tochienda isusu pakusiyanisa mhando dzembeu muboka rimwe chete rechirimwa zvakaita sechibage. Kuchibage munoziva imi kuti kune mapoka akasiyana siyana embeu, kubva kushuro, shoko, mbizi, shumba nezhou, zvese zvinenge zviriko. Saka murimi tiri kuti isusu kana wanga uri murimi wenzou toziva kuti unongochita iwa inini ndinongorima huru yadzo, umwe achita iwa inini ndinoda goho rinodzvova, umwe achita iwa isiri vana manjenjenje, handiti. Asi gore rino tiri kuti chitatamuraiwo mukana wenyu wekuti mukundikane, kupfurikidza nekuti muve nemapoka 2 kana 3 embeu dzinoibva mumazuva akasiyana siyana. Zvinobva zvabatsiridza kuti imimi mukati madyara mbizi, mune tsuro, mune tsoko, zvoita kuti mbeu iyoyo haibatwi nekuomerwa panguva imwe chete. So here in essence, I'm just summarizing the importance of our farmers diversifying in terms of their choice of crop into other climate smart crops like your sorghum. Some will even choose to do some sunflower, some will choose to do millets, groundnuts, sugar beans, and all the other crops that mature in different times. And then to top that up, they can diversify by growing maize varieties in different maturity series, from the ultra early, very early, medium, and late. And they can also plant 2 or 3 different varieties that mature at different times. So you can stagger by planting time, which is to say you plant this week, you plant next week, and another week. Or you can stagger by same planting date but different maturity series, so that the crop won't be affected at critical growth stages by the same conditions, because there might be some prolonged dry spells coming.
Okay. There's also this issue with a forecast drought on the way. Farmers normally want to know which disease threats can affect my crops, which other challenges should I be on the lookout for. Those are some of the questions they want experts to answer. Saka nhasi pfekai bhutsu dzemaexperts ese.
Shangu dzacho dziri kudziya nhasi, haiwa ndinotenda.
Which diseases are a threat?
Yes.
Which pests are a threat, given the approaching El Nino? We know it brings many challenges.
Indeed. So again, I'll continue and hasten to say we are still waiting for the final prediction that is going to come through from our Meteorological Services Department on the prediction. But nonetheless, when we are anticipating a drought season, it also comes with an increase in insect pressure, looking at your fall armyworms, because usually they favor very high temperatures and a stressed crop. So in terms of that, it will then be more prolific, and we will have a higher incidence of a problematic insect like your fall armyworm. The other problematic insects that might come through are those occasional locusts that usually travel in numbers. We can even have a problem of the armyworm, because you know there's fall armyworm and then there's the African armyworm. So it's very important for us to understand that those can also come through because of the vulnerability of the crop, because of the extreme temperatures that might be associated with the season in question. And then if you look at diseases, we will have diseases that are more aligned to drier conditions than those that favor high moisture conditions. So we will have a reduction in diseases that include your rots, your cob rots. There will be a reduction in those, because those usually favor high humidity coupled with high temperature. But then we might have a higher incidence of smut, where we can have that boil smut, those mushroom-like characters that you can find on a cob at the top of the cob. So you can have head smut, you can have smut along the cob. So these are some of the challenges that we can face. Fungal diseases that hibernate in the soil for dry conditions to persist.
Okay. Vanzwa kuti ndo possible diseases challenges, pest challenges. How do they act? You don't observe a stone that's about to strike you. What can they do to reduce my incidences? Kune gona kuita forum kunogona kuita African on the part of the farmer, chicha anofanira kunge achiita kuita kuti kana yakauya inge isina impact imwe iya yakanyanyisa. They also need to know that.
Ndinotenda iye zvino, saka murimi wedu kana achipinda panguva yekugadzirira, tiri panguva yekutenga zvikwanisiro anonzi ma-inputs. Zvoreva kuti murimi akarongeka anoziva kuti iri dambudziko refu amwe miri takafitira kusangana naro, taisisangana naro kumasure togona kusangana naro. Zvoreva kuti gore rino zvakanaka kuti murimi atengewo mishonga kana miviri yekuti inenge ine mashandiro akasiyana, yatingati mode of action. Imwe inonoruma gumbo, imwe inoruma ruoko, zvoita kuti pakuuraya dambudziko iroro mumunda zvinokupawo mukana wokukunda nekukasira. Saka tinokurudzira varimi vedu dero vatenga zvikwanisiro zvavo nguva iripo, vochitenga mishonga iri mumapoka akasiyana siyana anenge ane maactive ingredient akasiyana siyana. Then tobva taona isusu kuti panyaya yekumitigeta zvakare tinenge chikurudzira kuti murimi akarongeka ane ukama nemunda wake. Shoka yemurimi hairegi kubuda mumunda. Unofanira kuramba uchifamba uchiscouta nguva nenguva. Dzimweni dzenguva panoita dambudziko rekuti iyo African armyworm yataitaura iya inofamba iri mapoka. Zvino kana wewo ukati ndaenda kumunda vhiki lino wodzokera mushure memavhiki maviri zvoreva kuti dambudziko riya rinogona kunge raenderera zvokuti hapachina chauchakwanisa kuita nezvazvo. Saka murimi ngaagare ari mumunda make achiona achiscouta, kwete kunze kwemunda asi uchipinda mumunda, inonzi systematic scouting. So we recommend our farmers to use products with different modes of action, different active ingredients that they can get from agrochemical specialists in terms of preparedness for problems like your African armyworm, like your fall armyworm. And then for the occasional African armyworm, they can also come in with regular scouting so that that pest is a challenge. If it goes in on Monday, by the time you go back, if you're a weekend or cell phone farmer, you will find the crop won't be there to meet you. So it's very important for our farmers to be hands-on. There is no substitute for feet on the ground.
Okay, ma'am, as we wrap up our discussion, maybe using your years of experience, I may have skipped, I know I just scratched the surface.
You did very well.
if you can remember anything that you know farmers are always anxious about, you can quickly go through it, and then we wrap up the discussion.
Thank you so much. So I'm happy that you mentioned the years of experience, because I'm also a practicing farmer. And I also got my fingers bent one dry season that came 3 seasons ago. Happy this year that we had a bumper harvest and I managed to record sizable yields in my maize and my sorghum. But nonetheless, at this time, we want to make sure that our farmers are not found wanting. So the important thing that our farmers usually miss is soil sampling. So ahead of land preparation, a farmer at this moment, at this juncture, should be embarking on soil tests so that they can understand the nitty-gritties in their soil in terms of the soil organic matter content and the nutrition constitution, and especially the pH level. So yesterday I was in Marange, where we were at a children's home where we were doing a green millie planting demo. So just by looking at the ground, I could see the weeds that were there, that this is acidic soil. Then I asked her, did you do any soil analysis? She said, yes, we did, but the samples are still in the house. We haven't taken them for analysis. That was last season. So we want to do things to completion. Make sure that if you do soil analysis, you take your sample to the lab, you get the results, and you do the corrections on time, which is about 2 to 3 months before the start of the season.
Oh, quite rightly said. Thank you so much for such an insightful discussion. I think I'll be dragging you in again to talk on the topic on soil sampling.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That one is pending, even nationally. Takanzwa kuchinzi 70% of our soils are acidic.
True.
And the government was working on it. So on that one, invite somebody from our ministry. Thank you so much for coming through and wishing you the best in the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Let's meet in the field for the soil analysis discussion.
Yeah, that can be arranged.
Yes, thank you.
Sure.